I did what I was told. He told me to sign them. And after all, they're legalese. I'm not going to understand them. It's going to take me, 10, 15, 20 minutes to read a piece of paper, and there's 5 of them laying there, and I'm feeling uncomfortable, and I don't want to be there, and I don't want to tell him, excuse me, sir, but if you'll read those to me, I'll sign them. I was compliant in the past. Not anymore so much. So what I did is I signed away the car, the boat, the pickup that towed it, and the house in Danville, California. Do you know about Danville, California, a little suburb of San Francisco? Back then, I think we only paid $18,000 for that house, but before the economy changed, it was sitting on about $500,000 worth of dirt. That's a pretty high price to pay for being functionally illiterate. But it wasn't the highest price to be paid that day, because one of those pieces of paper said I was an unfit mother. The 2.5-year-old boy and the 4.5-year-old girl were no longer mine. And that's back when you signed a piece of paper, it was a done deal. You didn't come back the next day and say, I didn't understand. Excuse me. No. I signed away the 2 reasons why I got up every day and took breath. Precious human beings. So I didn't pay the entire price that day. 2 innocent children paid that price too. It's too high a price to pay because you're not properly educated. I met and married my second husband, Toni Cordell. And if he were still alive, he would insist, and if I missed, he would stand up and correct me. He would insist that I tell you that the first thing he did for me was get custody of the children back for me. So I was able to raise my children. A wonderful gift to be given to me. But I also want to try and explain to you the magnitude and magnificence of what Carl did for me. As a woman who was very insecure, didn't feel like I had any value, and certainly had been stripped of it by then. Carl told me what was right with me instead of what was wrong with me. He told me I had lots of common sense, more than anybody he had ever met before. And he told me I could do anything I set my mind to. That's a very clever way to tell people they're stubborn, by the way. I figured that out. Took me a long time to understand that, but he was always gracious. I think in 30 years he might have been annoyed with me 5 times, never angry. It helped me blossom into a human being. Has it healed 100% of the past? I don't know that it has. But I am a much better person because somebody stepped into my life and gave me permission to be who I am with all of my strange mistakes, etc.